I've been reading up books written by black women, brown women, women in Africa, telling our stories, telling their stories their way. So I brought books today. This book is called Perfect Imperfections. And I think it speaks a lot to what I speak about, because I continuously say it's inconvenient to be living in a world that always wants the best, we must look good all the time, right? The best of what, And this book talks about the reality of imperfections, of different women who you would believe if you were to look at social media and think, you know what, I wish I was like this person, but then it takes you into the life of that person. And you realize that nothing is perfect. Everything is imperfect. So this book speaks about that. So who would like to take this home and have a read? Anyone who would like to? Okay. Don't worry, I'll give you something. So this one is about sort of my favorites. This has to go to someone who has a difficult relationship with a mother. It has to go to someone who would like to have some sort of resolution when it comes to that. It's written by a South African businesswoman, Amanda Dambuza, and she paints her life, and she paints her relationship with her mother. And sometimes, we want fairy tale endings, but we forget to be dealing with human beings who've made mistakes. And like human beings, some human beings will acknowledge the mistakes they made, and some human beings won't. But either way, you need to be able to find your peace irrespective. And I think she does a very good job in this book of narrating how to move with that, And putting the foundation of who we are, we always look back to our parents. So this book it's not an easy book to read, because it's going to dig at those wounds if you have them with your mother. But it's a necessary book to read, because once you've read this, it frees you a little bit. It frees you when you hear someone else's story, someone who is incredibly successful right now, because Amanda Dambuza is one of the 1% in this country, self-made businesswoman. So someone else I will leave this there because I know it's quite sensitive. You know who you are, you know who must read that. So let's do today's topic. I want to first thank you for always receiving me. The last time I was here, I was talking about flowers, and then I asked someone from the audience to come and thank me, and someone did, and it was so beautiful. And I love that I'm in a relationship now that is a two-sided relationship where I know how you feel, and you know how I feel, and when you speak to me, I listen. And the lady that spoke said something to me that touched me. I think it was when you love people, that you don't like your people to be spoken of badly in your company. And I believe she was speaking badly of my people in my company, and she is one of the people. She was speaking about herself in a very negative way. I didn't like it. She was saying she woke up in an area where there's educated people who weren't waking up that morning because they are educated, and she had to go to work. And I was like, my queen is not that. I would not describe any one of you like that. No, it just didn't sit. So I thought, let me investigate, Team J. What is this wedding of, what is this, what is a wedding? What is a wedding? Let me read the description. Maybe I'm missing something, and then let me check what I know, what I've experienced, because I come here and I experience you. I come here and I engage with people. Sometimes I'm here an hour before you actually get to see me. And I talk and I look and I observe, right? So I read this description, and the description says, person responsible for the supervision of a particular place or activity, or enforcing the regulations associated with it. And I was like, hey, this thing sounds so technical. Man, I don't recognize this. Clearly I don't know any words. Clearly I don't know, because I don't recognize this. I'll tell you what I recognize. So I came here the one morning, Queen Constance wasn't here. So Mom Antoine had to be the one who received me that morning. But I mean, she's at work, so she did the normal work things. She got a call, Mom Antoine, as I was there. And then she spoke to this person on the phone, And then she put the phone down afterwards, and then she chuckled to Mama Anton. She was like, and I looked at her and she was like, no, Lucy, what happens here is that this is someone that's under me, and right now, they're acting their age. It's okay. I'll speak to her later. Now, I've worked in corporate, and I know some of you do not corporate. I've worked in corporate. You don't get that. You don't get someone who gets to acknowledge where you stand in life. This behavior that is wrong that you just did. And they paused themselves, because that's what she did. She paused herself. She was like, no, I'm not going to the actions. Because she's acting according to her age. I know there's more to her than what she's presenting of herself. She didn't hold that person accountable in a negative way. She understood where this woman stood. But you have to be in tune with yourself as a woman. To not take everything done to you personally. She didn't blow up in that moment when I turned. She did not. And she had every right because that person disrespected her on the other side of the road. But she pulled herself towards herself. The first thing she did was law. And she knew she was going to handle that situation like the queen that she is. I will tell you about me when I was under a woman that I worked for. Because that is and Mom Antoinette. So I was under a woman and I was pregnant with my son. 7 months pregnant. And I used to get pains. Every time I get pains, I feel like, and my mother at this point had passed away, so I had no mother, and everybody knew this. In this place that I had been working at for years, they knew. And I'd get pains every morning, and this woman would say to me every morning, listen here, don't come here with that, eh? You're not the first one to ever be pregnant. And my sister's got 3 children that she birthed and homeschooled. So just go to work. Don't give me any of that here. And every morning this woman made me feel so small. And my pain was real. So real that when the doctor did an operation on me to give birth to my son, they found, before they would take my child out, there was this big appendix about to burst. The pain that I was experiencing every morning was that. It was real. And there was a woman older than me, right, who I was entrusted under, who did not care. So you would dream, and I worked in a kind of building that you would see it from afar because it's all made of glass. Yeah? When I drive into, the basement, there's a lift, there's all of those things that look. But the people inside, the people interested on other people, were barely human. So yes, you work in a prison. But who do you work under? Who do you work with? You're not wardens. Did I describe a warden in the way that this woman treated another woman? Did that sound like someone who, what does this thing say? Supervision, particular activity, enforcing regulation. Did it sound like Mama Anton was enforcing any regulation then? Did she not have grounds to enforce the regulation? Guys, there's the idea of what you think about this position that God has placed you in. And you guys have to see the blessings of who has been placed. Don't look at where you've been placed. Look at who has been placed. Another example, because there's plenty of examples here. From here, I was called to speak to your clients on the other side. And I went, because where I'm sent, I go. And Mom Anton sent a lady to another queen to walk me out. And that queen, in this passage here, stopped me and said, "Queen, please, I need a moment of your time." Hey, one of my clients, the one who was doing his poetry, she comes in and she goes. The talent in that girl, the talent in that girl queen is too much. It is nothing you can, it is nothing you can say to her. It is nothing you can do to encourage her. Guys, you're not modern. I could see the emotion she had. I could see she was close to it. If she could do something, she could take this child home, she would have. She wanted someone to please help. So that she doesn't come back here again. What does she personally as part of your benefits. Can I give you stats there to show you? I checked last night. In this country of ours, 16.1% of people have mental aid. 16.1% have mental aid. So the people that you see in those big cars don't have mental aid. They don't have it. And you're out here walking like this. You should be walking like this. How dare you with all of your mental aid walking so? You should be walking like this. 16.1%. I would never, every day, every month, leave the comfort of my own bed for anything less than royalty. The task you have taken on, and you take on every day. You can never be anything else but royalty. Do not let this world confuse you. If you're unsure, look at who you walk with. Look at the giants that you walk with. I would have given anything to have a leader like Mark Antoine when I was in corporate. Someone that cares. Someone that can think when I do a mistake, can think, but yes, that's not even her right now. That's her age right now. I want you to go talk to the people in corporate structures and find out, do they get this kind of service? So it's important, guys, to really look into where God has placed us and look at the advantages and all that God has put around us. And I'm not saying that this is the best place to work, but we can make it so because there's nothing on the other side that's better. I worked in corporate. I left corporate because it drains, it takes. It's always a taking game. You get nothing. You are not encouraged. Nobody wants you to have the confidence. I was in corporate for 10 years. I went to university, I graduated, and then I went there. I feel more at home here. I felt more love and acceptance here than I've ever felt in corporate. The last time I was here, it was a rainy day. I got the rain on and I was cold. I left here with a fat cook as big as my head. I ate it and I told Mom, I was like 4 hours later. I slept at a 4-hour nap, guys. The fat cook was so good that I couldn't keep my eyes open afterwards. I slept. I was gone immediately. I was gone for 4 hours. For 4 hours. And Unandi begged me to, and I said, no guys, I'm not hungry. And nobody gave me a chance. I had to leave with the fat cook because no one was going to let me go without food. Here, at the prison. Here. That's what happens here. Guys, let me just quickly go into a Bible verse that I want you to just take to heart as you move within the space. You know, the world will say things about you, and even when they narrate you in series and all of these things, they narrate such a negative view of you. But it is up to us to create our own reality here at Female Center. I don't care about what the description of women is outside of Female Center, but here at Female Center, I want us to just try and walk differently and preserve this warmth that exists here. Because, guys, it's warm here. Listen to me when I tell you, it's warm here. At corporate, you don't have a friend because at the end of the month, each month there has to be, someone has to go. So each time there's someone trying to make sure it's not them that goes, making sure it's you that goes. You go every day to work with people that you know will backstab you at any moment. For any particular reason, for an extra percent, for 1 extra percent. You are what God has placed you. Bring the best version of yourself here. Learn from the women that are here on how to. There is no element of disadvantage here. How dare you with your 16.1% mental aid? You live in a country with people with no mental aid, guys. Maybe 16.1% is a It doesn't matter how small. You wear uniform. There's a woman who hopes to wear uniform one day. You're going to put on the uniform, and as you put on your pants, look at yourself. Huh? And how cute you look. You have uniform. You've got a place. There's a place that's waiting for you to arrive. There's a place that's waiting for you to arrive. Every day. With your mental age. I can't highlight it enough. 51% guys don't have mental age. I can't even say it. So every time you make yourself. You know, as you're driving home today or in a taxi, if you're going to be in a taxi, just know you might be the only one in that taxi with mental age. Yeah? If you're going to be driving on the road, look at the other cars today on the other side and know you might be the only one for the next 20 minutes who has mental age. It's the stats, it's not me. The stats say 16.1. Meaning in any room where there's 20 people or so, you're probably the only one with mental age. Take in what God has done for you in your life, no matter how minor. And when you take that in, watch Him give you more. Watch Him give you more in the form of sisterhood where you work. Watch Him give you more. Let me go and read. I think I've learned the verse that I read. It's Deuteronomy 31 verse 8. Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord will personally go ahead of you. He will be with you. He will never fail nor abandon you. You're not abandoned. You're not abandoned. God would not have chosen to place you here unless He believed that what He placed in you is incredible. Because this is a sensitive environment you guys work in. You work with broken people. This is your opportunity to be a role model. This is your opportunity to walk with God so much so that, yes, the way I envision it in my head, you know when you are on a plane, right, and the plane is about to land, what happens is that there's a lot of lights that the plane has to follow. It has to follow the string of lights, and that those lights guide the plane on where to be able to land. Yeah? If we do individually what we are meant to, work on ourselves, have good spiritual hygiene, pray continuously. You can never have too much prayer in your day. You can never have too much prayer in your day. Even if you have to set alarms for yourself to pray, to remind you to pray, because you're in a place, you're in a dark place. You have to fight by force. So, and if we do it right, what I envision is that individually we will be light, but for the others on the other side, when they see us all individually lighting our lights, it will make it very clear where they must land. And that's exactly where God wants them to. So it's important that each one of us finds that light inside of us. Because ultimately, that's where you belong. You belong in a space where we're not only coming into work to do what we are, we're actually creating change. We're changing lives. We are, without using words, showing who God is, in how we move, in how we smile. It's an important task. I take what I do here incredibly seriously. I do research, I do all of these things because the value, you hold so much value in my life. I could never be able to do what you do every day. My heart is too small. I would never be able to see so much pain every day and be okay. So I commend each and every one of you for what it is that you do, but I'm saying, don't run dry. Place in structures so that you don't run dry. I don't ever want you to look at yourself in a negative way, guys. I was trying to look up words last night. I wonder what new word we can call ourselves, but we cannot be what it is. We're too pretty to be called what it is. I was trying to look up, I was like, trying to find words. What's a goddess word for healing? I was trying to find, guys. I was trying to find things. And I'm going to find a word because me, I never give up. I'm going to find a word for female center. What we are going to call ourselves. Something nice, like something blingy, something that shows we are goddesses, something that is suited for us. Because when I read the description, description. I don't know anyone who's a warden, personally. I've encountered so much love here, so much warmth consistently. I have never met this. I remember the one time there was a client, and I was with Umam Goma in her office, and a client came in. And firstly, in corporate, you don't interrupt meetings that are in progress. You don't. But Umam Goma was like, Lucy, hold on. Client walked in, hysterical. She was hysterical. She was not okay. Umam Goma calmed her down. Prayed with her, and I still was like, hello guys, why don't they paint that this is what happens in prison? Why don't they paint that this is what happens? Is that the prayer warriors that are giving life, that are stopping meetings to give life to clients. Society's outcasts, stopping meetings for society's outcasts. And that's where you work, guys. And that's who you work under. I've worked in a place where, for a whole month, I would walk in. Corporate, I had a corner office at that time. I'd walk in like, morning to everyone, and everyone just look at me. For a whole month, every day I greeted, because my mother raised me that. Every day I greeted, and every day no one greeted me back. Every day, no one greeted me back. Don't fantasize about a world that you don't know. Make beautiful the world that you have and see what God is going to do in your life. Let's be testimony that no matter where we are placed, we will shine. No matter where we are placed, God will be alive. Wherever a group of women are gathered, there will be hope. No matter if it's in a prison, there will be hope. So, my message from last time was acceptance. I needed to reiterate that message. Accept. Accept where God has placed you. With your mental aid. Accept it. 16.1, this is the real stat. I was shocked. It's a real stat. And I'm sure you want to go into more of your benefits. Don't let me, because I will. I'll go into more of your benefits to show you how privileged you are. I love you, queens, and I want us to put in more work and more effort for ourselves, so we can be the best version of ourselves, and so we can impact others in the most beautiful way. I have grown in the time that I've been here. I have grown so much. The last time I was here, I gave so much of myself, and then my friend Aisha said to me, Musi, you need to learn to practice better spiritual hygiene. And it's like, if you're going to give of yourself this much, that means on a daily basis, you have to find ways where you are reading scripture, where you are praying continuously. Because if you're going to be talking about God and sharing, every time you share, you pour out. There has to be things that you pour in. You have to change who you spend time with now. It has to be women that pray. Because when you are down, that's the only thing that will be able to lift you up. So I want you guys to do exactly the same things in your own spaces. Is that first, have good spiritual hygiene yourself, because you work in a prison. Despite the mental aid, you work in a prison, right? Have good spiritual hygiene with yourself, and also align yourself with people that are wholesome and good. Wholesome and good. You deserve it. Because you're going to have bad days working in this prison. Ladies, I will see you next week, or next month. I'll see you next month. Thank you so much for your love. I will bring more books to share. And thank you for sharing your love with me. Thank you so much.